Alright, here is the content rewritten for your Wisdom and Wealth YouTube channel, tailored for an older audience, with 20% more words, all the original meaning conveyed, encouraging likes and subscriptions throughout, using American English, divided into smaller paragraphs, and avoiding bolding. Welcome to Wisdom and Wealth, everyone. Today, we're diving into a profound question that has echoed through the ages: what happens when you reach enlightenment? The Buddha offered insights into this very question, and we will explore them together. Now, if you find this content resonates with you, please hit that like button and consider subscribing to our channel for more wisdom and insights tailored for those of us navigating the second half of life. Most people imagine enlightenment as some spectacular event, a sudden burst of divine light, a life-altering revelation, or perhaps even a complete escape from the everyday world. We envision some kind of radical transformation, a before and after moment that completely redefines our existence. We believe that enlightenment is getting struck by a lightning bolt. But the truth, as the Buddha gently revealed, is often far more subtle and nuanced. It's not about a dramatic external event, but rather a quiet internal shift. It's not about seeking out an experience, but about allowing experiences to flow through you. Enlightenment, contrary to popular belief, doesn't actually feel like gaining something new, some extraordinary power or ability. Instead, it feels like something unnecessary finally falling away, like a weight being lifted from your shoulders. It's the shedding of layers of illusion and misconception that have been obscuring our true nature. It's like coming home to yourself. It's like realizing you've been clenching your jaw unconsciously for years, holding on to tension and stress, and finally, consciously letting it go. That sense of relief, that sudden ease, is akin to the experience of enlightenment. It's a release from a self-imposed constraint. Or perhaps it's like walking in circles your whole life, endlessly searching for something, chasing a feeling of completeness and fulfillment. Only to suddenly stop, turn around, and realize that you were already whole, already complete, all along. The journey was never really about finding something outside of yourself, it was always about recognizing what was already within. That quiet, persistent sense that something is missing, that you're not quite enough, or that life isn't quite right, gradually and gently comes to an end. It's not a sudden disappearance, but a gradual fading away. Not because you've finally grabbed hold of some perfect truth or attained some ultimate achievement, but because the very act of grasping itself simply fades away. The need to constantly seek and strive diminishes, and a sense of contentment arises in its place. If you are feeling that sense of contentment with these words, please hit the like button and consider subscribing to this Buddhist doctrine channel. It's like discovering you've been wearing sunglasses indoors for a long time, casting shadows on everything you see, distorting your perception of reality, and then simply taking them off. Suddenly, the world appears brighter, clearer, and more vibrant. That's what enlightenment brings: clarity. In the Buddhist tradition, this shift isn't abstract or vague, it has clear and recognizable signs, although they're often surprisingly ordinary and understated. It's not about miraculous abilities or extraordinary experiences, but about a fundamental change in how we relate to ourselves and the world around us. First, the mind no longer clings to knowledge. You don't suddenly know all the answers to every question, and you don't develop superhuman intelligence. In fact, you realize you no longer need to know all the answers. The incessant need to figure everything out, to have all the solutions, diminishes. Thoughts still come and go, as they naturally do, but they no longer bind you. You're no longer swept away by every passing thought or emotion. You observe them with a sense of detachment and equanimity, knowing that they are simply fleeting phenomena, not permanent aspects of your identity. The constant pressure to figure everything out, to have all the answers, dissolves, like a tight knot that unravels on its own. The relentless striving for intellectual certainty gradually diminishes, replaced by a sense of trust in the natural unfolding of life. The mind becomes spacious, like the vast expanse of the sky, open, clear, and unburdened by the weight of constant thinking and analysis. There is more room for presence, for stillness, for simply being. Second, the idea of a separate, independent self begins to fade. The feeling of being a distinct and isolated individual gradually diminishes, replaced by a sense of interconnectedness and unity with all things. This is a gradual, not a radical shift. Seeing, hearing, feeling still happen, of course, sensory experiences continue. But there's no longer an inner narrator constantly claiming those experiences as mine. The incessant chatter of the ego quiets down, and experiences are simply allowed to unfold without the need for constant interpretation and judgment. It's like listening to music so deeply and completely that the listener disappears. There's only the music flowing, alive and free, without any sense of a separate individual experiencing it. The boundaries between the listener and the music dissolve. Emotions still arise, but they're no longer personalized or clung to. They're recognized as natural expressions of life, not as defining characteristics of the self. Anger comes like a storm, raging for a time, then passes. Joy dances through the moment, bringing lightness and delight, then goes. But there's no me holding on to them, identifying with them, or trying to control them. They're like wind passing through an open field, real, vivid, and undeniable, but not possessed by anyone. They simply arise and pass away, without leaving a lasting impact on the fundamental sense of being. This is not detachment in the sense of coldness or indifference. It's intimacy without control, a deep and profound connection to life without the need to possess or manipulate it. It's a willingness to experience everything fully, without clinging to anything. Do you see the truth in these words? Are you finding wisdom and wealth to be a valuable channel? Please hit like and subscribe to keep this doctrine coming. Pain still exists, bodies still ache, injuries still hurt, but the mental story that turns pain into suffering is gone. The endless cycle of resistance, judgment, and self-pity that amplifies pain is broken. There's no longer a persistent, "why me?" or "this shouldn't be happening." There's just pain, pure and simple, experienced directly, like a ripple on a quiet pond. The resistance to pain, which is the source of so much suffering, diminishes. And when it's no longer resisted, even pain softens. It's no longer experienced as a threat to the self, but as a natural part of the human experience. So what, then, is nirvana? And how is it different from enlightenment? These two terms are often used interchangeably, but there are subtle distinctions. In simple terms, enlightenment is the awakening, the direct insight into reality as it is, the falling away of illusion. It's the moment of recognizing the truth, the glimpse of the true nature of things. But nirvana is what remains when all the fires of craving, hatred, and ignorance have been fully extinguished. It's the state of complete peace and liberation that arises when all the causes of suffering have been eliminated. Enlightenment is like waking up from a dream. Nirvana is the peace that follows a good night's sleep. Nirvana may be yours. Please hit like and subscribe to find out how. You might say that enlightenment is the door opening, and nirvana is stepping through that door into a new realm of experience. It's the transition from seeing the truth to living the truth. Enlightenment ends confusion, the clouded thinking that obscures reality. Nirvana ends suffering, the pain and discontent that arise from ignorance and attachment. One is the clear seeing, the intellectual understanding, the other is the freedom that comes from embodying that understanding in every aspect of your life. The Buddha described nirvana not as a place, a physical location, but as a state beyond birth and death, beyond coming and going. It's a state of being that transcends the limitations of space and time. It's not something you reach by effort, by striving and struggling. It's something that is uncovered, revealed, when everything false, everything illusory, falls away. There is, monks, the Buddha said, that which is not born, not made, not created, not conditioned. This is nirvana. To the ordinary mind, caught up in the endless cycle of thoughts and emotions, this might sound distant or strange, incomprehensible or irrelevant. But to those who experience it, even for a fleeting moment, it feels like the most natural thing in the world, like returning home after a long and arduous journey. Without the constant filter of me, the self-centered perspective that distorts reality, life becomes incredibly close, intimate, and immediate. You don't just feel love, you are love, embodied and expressed in every action and interaction. You are not separate from it, you embody it. You don't search for peace, you are peace, stillness, and tranquility manifested in the present moment. We appreciate you taking the time to allow us to convey this truth. In kind, please like and subscribe. There is no separation left, no division between the self and the world, between the individual and the universe. All is one, interconnected and interdependent. The Buddha once said, "I am awakened." But he didn't mean this in terms of a fixed or permanent identity. He was simply using the language of the world to point beyond it, to convey a truth that transcends words. Like how we say, "It's raining," we know there's no separate it behind the rain, no entity causing the rain to fall. There is just rain, a natural phenomenon happening in accordance with the laws of nature. In the same way, there is just awakening, no one owns it, no one possesses it. It's a universal possibility, a natural potential inherent in all beings. And that's the quiet miracle, when no one is left to be enlightened, when the illusion of a separate self has dissolved, nirvana simply is. Nothing added, nothing missing. Just the pure stillness of a mind no longer bound by suffering, a mind free from the shackles of craving, hatred, and ignorance. That completes our discussion for today. We here at Wisdom and Wealth hope you have found this insightful and helpful in your journey. Please consider liking and subscribing to the channel for more content like this.